Hi guys! I'm jumping on here. Oh, I think my phone is shaking. Sorry for the slightly shaky video. I'm jumping on here to give you a short little message. Sorry, I have bandages on because I have some sores that I'm recovering from an allergic reaction to something. So I just wanted to explain a little bit about essential oils. As some of you may know, I graduated from my aromatherapy course, so I am officially a certified aromatherapist. Yay! I'm certified through the CFA, which is the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists. I took the course through a recognized school. That's the only certifying body, I believe, in Canada. You can become members of other boards and associations, but I'm not sure how the certification process works. Anyway, so you might hear a slight buzzing noise in the background. So we had a bit of a hiccup this week. It turns out that our basement shower in our tenant's apartment was leaking, and my husband decided that it was time to pull that out and do a little bit of investigating on what was happening. And it turns out that the people who lived here before us decided to get ambitious and build a bathroom, but instead of following all of the processes of doing things correctly, they took some shortcuts. And so they drilled a hole in the concrete floor, installed a drain, and instead of filling that back over with concrete, they decided to fill it with expanding foam, and then they installed a shower over it. Well, the shower base cracked because expanding foam is not meant to hold the weight of a person, and the shower leaked, and the leak traveled over to the drywall, created some mold in some of our drywall and our trim work, and so now we are ripping apart a shower, and our poor tenants in the basement don't have access to a shower for the next few days while we try and remedy the issue that was created by our previous homeowners. So, you know, sometimes when they say you can go and get a house and you buy it and it's got a finished basement, I would try and make sure that a professional actually finished that, or somebody who knew what they were doing. The people who lived here before us tried to convince us that they knew what they were doing, and the basement was a mess. It's still a mess. We're coming up with problems constantly, so be careful. So that's why I'm having an allergic reaction, and I've got these ridiculous bandages everywhere because I've got horrible sores all over my body because I'm very allergic to mold and other things. I think they were diffusing scents in the basement to try and synthetic scents. So that's my week in a hiccup. So we're out a couple $1,000s, and my tenants don't have a shower. My husband's busy drilling holes in concrete to try and make a new shower work and filling cement in instead of expanding foam. So I hope your week was a little bit better than ours, but it's okay. It hasn't been that bad of a week otherwise. I'm on the healing path now, and things are getting done, so that's good. So what the point of this whole video was not to tell you about my horrible week, though. I actually wanted to tell you about essential oils. So this is what I'm doing. I'm very passionate about this. Some of you might think that this is like scents and candles. No, we are not scents and candles. They didn't create a certifying school or education or curriculum or board so that I could talk to you about candles. And I definitely didn't take hundreds of dollars and well, thousands of dollars really, and several hours of my family's time away so that I could study perfume. Okay, so let me explain this a little bit to you. An aromatherapist is a therapist, much like you would find somebody who is a massage therapist or a naturopath or a homeopath. We all go through different certifying colleges or bodies. So aromatherapy has its own certifying standard and board. I had to write 2 exams. The exams were quite tense. I would say the exams were harder than what I studied for my paralegal studies, mostly because they're closed book and a lot of science. Most of my work was done in Latin names, so trying to memorize plants and plant family names and body parts in Latin. Little confusing, especially for me because I'm dyslexic, but I managed to make it work, so that's good. But after all that said and done, I had to do 30 case studies on actual people, so I didn't just write up theoretical things. I actually had to experience the oils on people. I had to obtain all the oils from the course. So there's a difference in oils in the world. So when you run into your grocery store, your health shop, wherever you're going to buy your oils from, Something that I learned in my aromatherapy studies, so this is not based on my affiliation with doTERRA, is that essential oils are not the same, okay? Typically the stuff that you're buying in the stores and even your health shops, unfortunately most, I would say 90%, even more health shops are either undereducated on essential oils or they're choosing to buy what they think the consumer is willing to pay for. So when you go out and you buy an $8 bottle of essential oils, you're buying $8 of garbage. That is not really an essential oil. Or you're buying $8 worth of perfume. If that's what you're going for, then great. But if you were actually getting an essential oil because you wanted it to help with something like a headache or do something on a therapeutic level, $8 is not going to cut it. A real essential oil can't even be sourced for that. If you knew the volume of plant matter that goes into creating an essential oil, that's not even enough to be able to reasonably charge a retail customer. And there's a whole website and Facebook page dedicated to this information that you can learn from that is unbiased if you feel for some reason that I am biased, which I am not. Called the Essential Oil University, run by Dr. Robert Pappas. He is one of the leading research chemists on essential oils in the world. So I highly value and respect his opinion on it. So jump on Facebook or the internet and check it out. And he talks about price points and how you can tell a real essential oil from a fake one. Now, from an aromatherapy perspective, I'm going to describe to you a little bit about how they're distilled and why sometimes they can price them so cheap in the stores to sell you what they can label as whole oils. So when you go into a store and it says 100% pure oil, okay? These oils are typically governed under the body care industry. So the body care industry is a little bit different. When you buy an oil through the body care industry, the labeling laws allow them to put whatever they want on the bottle. So that means when we're buying, and this goes for all body care, when you go buy your lotions, your cosmetics, the companies creating these, they can put whatever they want in them. And that's why we have these lobbyists or third-party bodies created to protect us, the consumers, because the companies aren't doing it anymore. What we allow in the Western world is almost scary. So if you look at the environmental working group, I mention it a lot. They talk a lot about the toxins that you find in all of our products, including our cleaners, our body care products, our makeup, all that stuff, right? The lotions and creams that we put on our tiny little babies, newborns, a lot of it highly toxic. Most of it has chemicals that is carcinogenic and scary. So I would strongly suggest you look into it, really look into it, because what you can take for a few minutes of time now to save your family and your body from being sick and ill later, you'll be so thankful that you took the time to do this. So when we get these oils from our stores, they are distilled in a way where they add a solvent, okay? Now the solvent, and this is typical, it's not always exactly this way, but this is just an idea of how they do this. The solvent isn't always synthetic, but sometimes it is. Sometimes it's a natural solvent, so even though the bottle says 100% pure or all natural, it can definitely be natural. But solvents are not typically used in a therapeutic setting. Our bodies don't metabolize them the same. They aren't used to address things like the health concerns that we are even using the oils for in the first place. They do tend to make the oils a little bit stickier or more residue-like. What they do when you diffuse them into the air or use it topically is it sticks in the air longer. An actual essential oil will evaporate quite fast. A pure essential oil does not stick around when you stop diffusing. You might smell it for about half an hour if you've had it going for any length of time, but the smell will disappear almost immediately. Whereas synthetic oil, you could drop it in there and walk away and it'll stay. The scent will stick. This is not what we want to use. This is not a therapeutic grade of oil. If you want to do scented perfumes for your house, fine. How safe are those synthetics and solvents? I have no idea. There's nothing that is a standard that's governing the industry. So when you go out and buy those oils, who knows? You could be buying stuff that's basically got the same synthetic compounds of the gasoline that you put into your car. Do you really want to be diffusing that around your children and yourself so that your house can smell beautiful like berries? Or maybe you could get the real thing, like an actual nice, beautiful wild orange or a nice jasmine or rose and diffuse those, right? Let's get something real in there. And the therapy that you get from those is real. This is a true thing. So that would be a little bit of the difference. Now, I studied for, it would be 2.5 years now. So I did a lot of educating. I did get a certification as an aromatherapist. I did look into various companies, and what I've learned through my 2.5 year journey is that the best essential oil companies will charge a pretty price for it. And this is typically because it could take anywhere from 1,000 roses to make a tiny bottle of rose essential oils, right? So if that's the case, if it's 1,000 or even if it's as little as 300, right? We pay for a dozen roses like $60. How much do you think you're gonna pay for just the essential oil part of that, right? So the price point makes sense. And these oils are sourced from all over the world. A good company will source it from all over the world. They will not go and take the oils, or get the seeds from farmers from all over the world, then bring them back to their own land, create greenhouses, and then make claims that they govern the whole process. This is not a pure oil. This is something that's been modified in nature. And as we all know, when we look at the food industry, like the GMOs in our food, we don't have good reactions to modified things. We don't respond to them the same. So I wouldn't do that with my essential oils. I want something pure and real. So after my 2.5 years of educating and researching, I came across several essential oil companies. I can tell you honestly that there is next to no brand I will ever buy in a store. You will not see me in a mall shopping for essential oils. You will not see me in a health shop or a grocery store, with the exception of my local health shop, which actually carries a brand called Pranarum. I do actually think that they are a pretty superior product, but I find that most of their very expensive oils are actually already pre-diluted for the consumer. They don't carry very much on the therapeutic, not that they're not therapeutic, but the pure oils that I want to use for what I need to do, I don't always have access with them. So I prefer doTERRA. I really do. I've done a few mail-offs for a few companies that sell their oils online, so I could do some comparisons based on what I learned in my education and research. And doTERRA blew everybody out of the water, big time. So after that 2.5 years of researching and educating, I have committed myself to aligning to a superior company like doTERRA because I believe 100% in the product. I believe in the integrity of the company. I believe that the reports and their sourcing that they offer is by far superior to any other company I've seen. Even the ones that aromatherapists might typically use, I still believe that doTERRA outweighs them all. And that would make me part of a network marketing company. So if that's an issue for you, if you feel like I'm pushing a brand because I make a commission off that, I don't charge a consulting fee for my aromatherapy services. What I do is I have an oil community that gets access to my educated knowledge and certification for free for being part of my aromatherapy community. So to sort of lay that out a little more bluntly for you, you can come to me. I can charge you a nominal fee as an aromatherapist. You could pay that fee and then you can buy your oils separate and pay for those as well. Or you can sign on to the best essential oil company in the world, which is doTERRA in my opinion, and become part of my oil community. I will offer you most of those services for free. So you have access to a whole support community, lots of people like yourself, free tools and stuff. I empower you to take care of your own health. So you don't have to constantly come back to a practitioner to get the help that you need. You have access to those tools from home. And all you have to do is buy your oils and you get the advice and the help for free. I give free wellness consults. I do free health scans. There's a lot of value of what I have to offer as an essential oil company. So I hope that clears up some questions. Like some people will say to me, oh, I'm just making cleaners or whatever, and they run out and go buy their solvent oils. Please don't do that. The risk that you run going out and buying your local lavender at you know, the superstore or even your local health shop. Unfortunately, like every health shop in my old town that I used to live in, Newmarket, sells awful oils. I would not recommend any of them unless they've changed that in the last like week or two, but not the greatest oils. So, and you go buy that local lavender and you put that on your pillow and it leaves a stain, that's not a true essential oils. Essential oils evaporate. They don't leave residues or stains or anything else. So do you really want to be cleaning and spraying that? What if you're breathing that in, right? Isn't the point of essential oils is to detox some of the chemicals we're in, but also to help our bodies on a therapeutic level? So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have questions or comments or you want to learn more, check in with me anytime. This has been like a 15-minute video. I swear I was going to do 5 minutes. I am way too chatty. So take care. Bye, guys.